你觉得武术的套路是不是花架子？
当然了，
当然是花架子
了。我们建国以后定的方针就是说，武术是一种运动
啊，是表演的。
是增加人体质的一种运动，因为我们国家的制度是不提倡搏斗的，是后来才提倡搏斗的。
My commentary breakdowns here. This interview was done around 2006, 2007. Now, records of it have basically been taken off Chinese social media, but from the broken links I could find, it was either 2006 or 2007. Basically, at this point, Jet Li came out with the movie Huo Yuan Jia, Fearless. And so this was done partly in promotion of that movie, but partly because a lot of people thought at that time that Jet Li would stop making kung fu movies. He was retiring with the movie Huo Yuan Jia, Fearless. So I first translated this video many years ago, and I wanted to retranslate again because when I first translated it, I dubbed over it. And I feel like I could do a much better job just translating directly from what they were saying. So I'm going to do an even more in-depth translation of this, and I hope you guys enjoy and learn a little bit more from this than from my original video. I don't think Jet Li needs introduction. I would put him in the top 3 Chinese martial artists, filmmaker, actors. You have Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li. The difference between Jackie Chan and Jet Li and Bruce Lee is that Jet Li was trained under the Wushu program. So he was trained with the national Beijing team. If you've been following my channel and seen some of the other interviews we've dug up, we know that Sanda, the more combat effective version of Chinese mixed kung fu, was not promoted until 1979. So Jet Li, being within the national Wushu system, would be able to see all of this from behind the scenes. Of course, his focus was on the dance fu, the taolu, the forms. I love that he's always been honest about both his ability and what the people who train in his system can do. Jet Li is a Buddhist and he's basically a pacifist. You'll see in various interviews where he basically just admits, oh yeah, dude, any fighter can beat me.
A lot of good fighters, some champions on the air, so they're pretty strong, very good. I think in the real life, they can kill me in the second.
He's such a humble dude, and this is another example of this.
不再需要真的功夫了嘛？所谓什么是真的功夫，就是杀人最快的方法了。那么这个在古代或在远过去的时候，人们学武就跟现在上大学似的，10年练一个绝招，就等于是说我们10年读书有成回来了，因为我有学业，我就找到工作了，找到工作就嘛，我可以生存了，对吧？养家糊口了。一个绝招就是你有了看家本领了，你可以帮人做看家护院，你可以做保镖，你可以去保卫皇帝，你可以做，就是有地位了。因为你可以有一个学历，就是其实，在不同的时代里头，大家费那个精力是为了达到生存。如果你今天谁练了10年一个东西出来，您举着手去动谁呀？您打谁都犯法。
So obviously the study 10 years for some technique thing is likely exaggeration, likely hyperbole. But for those of you who've studied this part of Kung Fu history, let me know, were there schools that, let's say, trained bodyguards, or were there schools that trained people to, let's say, fulfill a certain role in society? So you could call them like kung fu schools, right? But maybe slightly more than that, almost like pre-professional schools, if that makes sense. In the original video, at the very end, when Jet Li said break the law, I sort of paraphrased it as you're going to jail. I almost translated that again as you're going to jail because obviously that's what he means. When I translated it this time, I was like, you know what? I think let's just stick to the literal meaning. As much as the Chinese language is not a very literal language, in my personal journey in martial arts, I think Jet Li was my favorite for many years. And then I think Jet Li fell out of favor in my own interpretation / opinion, because I realized out of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, I think Jet Li is the least formidable. So for a while, it's like, I don't want to watch anything of Jet Li's. His stuff is just dance. I think this interview was one of those interviews when I first discovered it that really made me respect Jet Li. That Cradle to the Grave segment that I showed you guys, I saw that back when I was still really involved in Kung Fu. So I was like, no, Jet Li is just trying not to upset anyone, but he really could beat all those MMA fighters in Cradle to the Grave. Years later, once I started covering all the Shu Xiaodong and then all the subsequent stuff, and then I realized, okay, Jet Li is one of those dance fu guys. I think I had a period where I didn't really want to cover Jet Li at all, but this interview, I give it credit, even though I don't know why it was taken off Chinese social media, but I think it actually made me respect people like Jet Li more. You gotta be honest where you are, and Jet Li's made such an impact on so many people. So just by him admitting that, okay, his style of training, that a lot of people like him who train like that, is not really a formidable fight style, who cares? China already has Sanda and a lot of the other arts that made it to Hong Kong and made it to Southeast Asia, made it to Europe and stuff. There's still a lot of formidable Kung Fu styles. And then, of course, now, after Xu Xiaodong and after a lot of the current social media stuff, China's been trying to rebuild a lot of that stuff. It's just a personal philosophy, but I think being honest about certain things is actually way more helpful to not just you, but to the people around you and to society. I hope you really enjoyed this interview translation, this time really in depth and this time completely non-paraphrasing. If you guys want more, make sure to press a like. The YouTube algorithm is usually a little weird around January, February, so just tell YouTube that you really like my content, please. Like, share this also. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and interact. Reply to each other in the comment section. I think that would really help this video. So thank you guys so much, man. And channel members have been going strong. So shout out channel members. You know, I've been publishing channel member videos almost every week now. So I'm going to keep doing that. I've been having fun with my channel members. So people on Patreon, if I don't get back to you, there should be an email. So email me if I don't get back to you on Patreon. But I encourage you guys just to jump over to this platform to channel memberships. It's in one place. Okay, guys, talk to you soon.